this time. And now we can get this ball rolling. Hope you guys are all well and ready. And as we said, we start firstly with our Bitcoin price. What's the Bitcoin price doing? What is predicted for the Bitcoin price to do? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? If you tell people it's going to go down, it's like, no, but it looks like it's going up. You can see it's going up. Yes, you can see it's going up. It is definitely has been going up, but that doesn't mean anything. So whenever you start looking at any other coins to trade, you need to see, does it form the same pattern as Bitcoin, or has it been forming the same pattern? If it has, then we're in trouble, because this won't just keep on going up. It has to make a correction. It has to come down. And they say, oh yes, it's okay, it's going to go to 24,000, like Robert Kiyosaki said, or it's going to go to 12,000. I don't think yet. I don't think the time for it to go, unless the stock market crashes tomorrow. There's always the possibility that the stock market crash happens, and then you have this actual happening. So what we've done is, if I'm going to make this full screen so we can just do a quick analysis on what the Bitcoin price is doing. First of all, we are looking, when we look at any graph, we look at the time frame. I've got a 4-hour time frame. A 4-hour time frame is like zooming it back and say, what is this actually doing? What has it been doing? What am I missing in the picture? Because if let's put it on a 15-minute. 15 minutes says, wow, look, it's going up. But you can't see anything back. You can't see if there's any resistance lines. You can't see any of that. So you want to start your technical analysis on a 15-minute, big mistake. Unless you've done it already, today or yesterday or another day. Because if you're doing this on Altcoin Trader, unfortunately, your graphs don't stay there. You're gonna have to do the following. Let me just show you a little trick. I'm just gonna go Altcoin Trader. And now I want to draw some lines on the graph. So I'm going to draw a line. Let me just get rid of this volume at the bottom, because it's interfering with your technical analysis. Yeah, I've got a support line there. But as soon as I refresh the screen, it's gone. And folks, don't despise Altcoin Trader, because it's making our traders a lot of money. Then I will see, okay, it's forming a little wedge there, a little triangle, divergence, all these fancy names you want to give it, that's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, how do I keep this? Because otherwise I've got to go to Binance. You see there's a little camera on the screen. You see that camera? So you say, take an instant snapshot. And you say, okay, I can copy that and send that to someone, and they will be able to view that picture. Or I can click on Save Image. It opens that in a new page, and voila, you've got your picture. And then you can save that image as ACT. And you've got it saved. So then when tomorrow, and I haven't done all the technical analysis, but tomorrow when you want to look at your RAND value, because you don't have to go back to the world market every time to sit and figure out where this is, then at least you know, okay, this is what happened yesterday. I'll do another screenshot and see how it's gone. But that's just a little tip for using Altcoin Trader. So I'm not going to depend on it. I'm going to come back to a 15-minute graph when I've decided I'm going to get into the trades or not. I'm going to explain, try and get a lot of information over to you guys, because tonight is just like the warming up session, and hopefully we can get into one or two good trades. When I say good trades, I'm meaning using the trading techniques that we've been teaching you for years, if we can use this for anything that we decide to trade. So we're going to start with the 4-hour graph. I could have started with the 1-day graph, which might have not been a bad idea, but it's almost like when you're looking at a 4-hour graph, you see a lot further back. We've seen almost a whole year of information. So a year of information is pretty awesome. So hopefully you guys are taking some notes here, because this will help you with your training and your trading. So what I want to do is I want to just go and draw in horizontal support lines on the screen, where I feel are support or resistance lines. So whenever you're talking about support and resistance lines, remember, a support line becomes a resistance line, becomes a support line, becomes a resistance line, depending on where the price is. So I'm going to go and somewhere down here find a support line. You can see there, almost there, and definitely there, and almost there. I've got a horizontal support line, and this has been a good place to bounce the price off. If I had to say, okay, let's look for where this resistance line, where has it gone up to, or where can it go up to, and find resistance. Then I'll say, okay, there's a top there, and there's a top there. So let me just, put a line there. And slowly but surely the picture is coming into your mind that this is possibly where we might find some resistance. So we want to be careful in the markets right now to say there has been a support line that it's bounced off. We see that bounce. Okay, there it went straight through. But that would be another kind of support line. But there was one, almost two, almost three, definitely a fourth, almost a fifth. So the price has kept itself very nicely above this line. The resistance line is pretty close by. So although the price has gone to 40,500, it could go another $800 and bounce off that line. So let's zoom this in and out. What I want to do at this point, and this is for what I'm teaching all the traders right now, is click on the price range. If you don't know where that is, on the left-hand side of the screen, you have this little arrow. And make sure that this is a shortcut. See, make it a favorite, then it stays on the screen. If I take it off, when we take it off, then it takes it off the little toolbox. So the tools that you use on a regular basis can be put on the screen for you to use. So let me measure. Let's draw a little price range or a parallel channel from the bottom to the top. Let's just move this from there to there. This is pretty awesome, that it has had a 43% trading range in which it's gone up and down. How do we know that this price is going to carry on going up? Well, there are certain signs, and this is where we're going to make the screen full screen, and we're going to draw a few support and resistance lines, or a few resistance lines, just to show you what's been happening. So if I draw a line on top of all of these, just zoom it back a little bit and draw it further into the future. Does this line make sense? Most probably. It's touching two tops. But there's been more resistance lines on the market that we also need to add, which would make also some good sense to use. And this was from there through to there. In fact, your resistance lines can look like a fang at some stage. So you would have first drawn in a resistance line down there and left it there. Then you would have drawn in another resistance line from there to there, because that would have been a resistance line on the way up. So it looks like almost like what we used to call a GAN fang at some stage. But this is the most prominent resistance line that we've just gone through now. This is definitely a good prominent resistance line that is broken out of. So often when traders look at the markets, they don't draw in the lines, and once it broke through this resistance line, you can actually see how well it did. There's probably about 20% that it's made in the interim. So we've got a nice trading range coming back from January 2021. And then it looks like it made some head and shoulders over here in the process, and after head and shoulders, it just went down. Now, whatever I'm telling you in the next few sentences is basically my own feelings about the market. And I'm telling you just because of historical charts, what history says. So it doesn't mean that because of history it did this, it will do this again. But in a most probable way, I would reckon that this is what we're going to see in the next week or two, that we will see a reversal. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to put a quick Fibonacci on the screen so that I can try and make sense of, remember, we're sitting with a 4-hour graph. We're not zoomed in on 15 minutes and watching every move. People that panic easily are sitting on a 15-minute chart panicking, but they haven't drawn any other support and resistance lines, and they get all flat spin because their portfolio drops 5 or 10% because they didn't buy lower. So we don't want you to be making those kind of mistakes. So what we're going to do is let's draw a quick Fibonacci. I've got it as a shortcut there in my toolbox. And let's say I'm going to measure it from the top down to the bottom there, straight through to where it is currently. And then I'm going to say, okay, we have a range or trading range in which this price can move for the next. And based on if it drops through this line, which is our 61%, it will bounce off this line. And it looks like there'll be lots of resistance around this area, and then it will basically bounce back up again. Let's then add another tool, the RSI and the Bollinger Bands. Now, folks, you need to leave off your Bollinger Bands until you've done your support and resistance lines. I'm just going to finish by doing 1 or 2 more support and resistance. Okay, that's a support line. They are not, unless I zoom it in on the close range, I don't see too many support lines there left. So let me just see, one of the guys is trying to get in on the call and not seeing the link. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I've got some of the basic support and resistance lines. I can see the angle at the price that's looking like a praying mantis. Have you seen what a praying mantis looks like? Look at the top of Bitcoin right there now. Let me just move this away. I must maybe just draw a little. And there's his claws. Got to use your imagination sometimes. Can't be too serious all the time. All right, so let's get our 2 major tools on the screen. And the 2 major tools are, we're going to put an RSI on. So I'm going to go to the top of the screen and first get Bollinger Bands, and then I'm going to get RSI. It's so when we look at the Bollinger Bands, the RSI, we've seen this kind of action previously. This year, it almost looks like a copy and paste of what's happening right now. So let me show you what I mean. Besides that, we have a real bearish situation happening right in front of us because of that being 86%. Although we've seen higher places before, there was a higher place right there and the price still went higher. So that's a good sign that it can do that. But what I want to do is I want to actually do a little copy and paste for you folks on this. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste that onto the current situation. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So if we can go by anything, we can almost say that because we've seen the pricing coming down into this descending wedge, and we've seen this on that previous occasion do this and go bullish, that we might see the same thing playing out again in the next few days or week. Let's move this up there. So we've seen that it exited the RSI. We see that the Bollinger Band is way too wide. It's been pushing the Bollinger Band up, and we hardly ever see this happen, that it pushes out the Bollinger Bands, comes back into the Bollinger Bands and pushes out again without a correction. So we have a dangerous situation right now. And then what we have is we have a Fibonacci line that is bouncing off right now. And what I'm thinking is it might follow the same pattern before it breaks to the 48, 50,000, 55, 56,000. It's going to find a resistance line right at the top there. So that's definitely one of these places where it found resistance earlier is what it's going to find. And if it can manage to break through those lines, we will be seeing the 80,000, 120,000, 160, $140,000, $160,000 before the end of this year. And then it's correction time, big correction time. So let's get this. Is this helping you folks? I'm not getting many responses. Are you either taking notes or you? I don't expect those that came late to give comments, but I just want to get some feedback from you guys. Concentrate. Come on, guys! It's almost the alt season. The proper markets are about to boom. We just have to finish with these corrections. And hopefully this isn't too much of a head and shoulders situation, but the guys really went out their way to push the price back up again into dangerous territory. So unfortunately, my Fibonacci line has now disappeared. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put my resistance line coming down there and see, okay, it looks like we need to find a bottom with the 15-minute graph first on the RSI. We need to see, is it going to do what this possibly could do, find the correction? On the 15-minute graph, it looks like it's done the correction. But will it do this first, break through there, go about and then do that again? I'm very bullish on what we see now. Now, I know quite a few people that have gone and they went and sold their Bitcoin in the bear run, and they never bought back again. That's the worst thing. Whenever you're getting out of any cryptocurrency, have an entry point again. And I know there's a word, one of the guys that's now wanted fugitive in South Africa, the Malawian guy, Shepherd Bashiri, he said, don't try and take revenge on the markets, but you can actually take revenge by buying in a lot lower. So if the Bitcoin price was 900,000 Rand and you sold it at 700,000 Rand and you thought you made a big loss, then just buy it back at 500, or it went down to like 450, 480. That's where you buy it back in the dip. When it goes back up again, you're actually making more profit because you're buying lower than what you sold for. You can write that down. If you get out the market of any essential coins to buy lower than what you sold it for, you get out of the market out of any essential coins and you buy it lower than what you sold it for, you're correcting your mistake, virtually correcting your mistake. I sat with someone that lost possibly $1 million Rand in Bitcoin on one of the other trading platforms. And when we went on to her altcoin trade and looked through those trades, she actually made money. She bought low and sold higher. That's why you need to keep a track of all your history all the time. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get rid of my Bollinger Bands when I start drawing my support and resistance lines in. We can see we've got a resistance line there from previous drawing. So let's get rid of BB and draw in a support line. So let's pretend that was a support line on the way up, and then of course it went parabolic, it went up very steep and steeper and steeper. Whenever it makes a parabolic, changes direction 5 times, you want to look where it's bouncing, on which line is it coming back to. So in this line, what we find is we actually find ourselves in a nice little wedge at the moment. So it's a wedge inside the bigger wedge. So we're going to zoom this in and we're going to see, all right, what is it going to do now? Is it going to drop down to this support line and then bounce back up again? Or is it going to break through there and find some higher places? So generally speaking, we do not expect the price to go into the wedge. It never goes into the wedge. Once in a blue moon, I've seen it go into the wedge, and then when I draw my support and resistance lines, I can see all the mistakes I made. So I took off my Bollinger Bands. On my RSI says there's some resistance where it is. And now I can add my Bollinger Bands just to see where the Bollinger Bands are getting involved or not involved. Are they saying a different thing? So my bottom line, my lower band, is telling me that the support line is on the same, virtually on the same place as where my static support line is, which is a good thing. My resistance line tells me actually it could break through that resistance line and start turning up again. We have this one going parallel almost with the bottom support line and this one turning up. So it could be that this might be breaking out that way. I just want to get rid of this because this is now, you are probably wondering where that is from. So let's ignore that. What I'm suggesting that you folks do is when you're trading on Binance, draw in all of these on the screen and leave that screen open as long as possible, an hour, 2 hours, so that if you shut down your computer and tomorrow you log in again, that you see your drawings on the screen. So you don't need to keep on doing technicals every time you're going in on the market. If you've got your technical analysis, you do minor adjustments every day because you've already projected all the lines and put Fibonacci's, whatever you do on the screen. So we're going into a little crossroads situation right here. So while we're waiting to see what this is going to do, we now know that possibly we'll see a bull or a bear run. So let's go and take a look at a different coin right now. And what I'm going to do before I do that is I want to put how high would it go if it hits the top of the Bollinger Bands? How low would it go if it hits the bottom of the Bollinger Bands? If it finds a support line right there, which if it does go, it might drop minus 5%. So if the Bitcoin drops tonight 5%, take note of this. The altcoins will drop 8 to 12%. So the alts always drop a lot faster when the price drops. But when they go up, when the Bitcoin goes up, then they go up a lot faster than Bitcoin. So I want to be watching that either way it goes. If it goes to the top there or the top there, how high would it go? So it could go down 5% or it could go up 6%. If it's making these little W's that generally looks like these kind of, that almost looks like a cut line on its side. But there's no guarantees. So if it's doing this, and this is going bullish, some other coins will follow with it. So let's take the one we use the most or been using a lot of. And let's use Shiba. I'm going to use Shiba to USDT and open that and have a look what's going on there. It looks like the same. Look at this. Let me do this. I was in my young days, I was a fingerprint expert. And what we did was find a fingerprint that looks like the one you're looking for in the box. I did manual searches. So you page until you find one that looks the same. And what I found was when you do this, let me just change that. So look, if I do this several times, you can see it's the one is following the other, one is duplicating the other. Can you see that? We see possibly bearish and bullish happening right here. So I want to if it's going to go bullish, I also don't want to miss out on the trade. So as we can see right there now, there's a possible trade. Can I make 1% on this trade if I get in it and it goes bullish right now? So let's see. Yes, I can make 1%. So let me go in with, let's say, $20, $26. I want to buy in at the market price. I don't want to miss out on the server is busy. There we go. So I just want to buy some in. I want to have some skin in the game. And then I scroll down and I go to trade history. And I see I bought at 624. So I need to measure from 624, that's where I measured from 623 to 631. So I'm going to place a sell order at let's say half at 631. Make sure that you're not on market, otherwise it sells at market. So you want to use market or limit. Limit is when you're placing orders that aren't at the current market price. 631. So 631, I'm going to sell half. So I move the slider, or you can just decide how much you want to sell. And then I want to go, let's say 1.6%, which is at 634. 634. And place a sell order. Now, if you don't see what I'm seeing on my screen, then what you do is you make sure you're not on the regional. You use TradingView. And if you're on TradingView and you don't see that, it's because this little box there, some people don't like it. So if I click on that little box, it says display open orders. I just click on it or unclick it. So I do believe that it's going to go up. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year. No, I'm just joking. But I also want to have my planning done, like with Bitcoin, that it could possibly hit one of these lows. So let's draw a support line somewhere down here. You see there, we said it could drop down to that support line. It could drop 5% before going up. But we see we're in a wedge right now at the moment. So I want to see if I can take advantage of two directional trades. Okay. So let's see how we can place these trades. I'm going to also draw in, take my Bollinger Bands off the screen. And folks, this is a very, very high volume coin. $75 million in 24 hours. I don't know of any person that's trading crypto that's got so much skin in the game. But there's obviously a lot of traders that are trading right now. So what we're doing with you folks tonight is we're doing the simplicity kind of things. We can go trading, because some of these trades are going to stretch over the next 4 to 6 to 10 days. And you are going to be trading continuously on certain coins. And you're going to see how beneficial it is to do multiple trades. Okay, so our support and resistance lines tell us it's now getting into this corner. This ping pong, golf ball, whatever you want to call it, is getting into this corner, and it's not going to go into the corner. It wants to break out one of the floor or the ceiling. We can keep an eye on Bitcoin. We can see even on Altcoin Trader, it's busy trying to break through that resistance line. And a lot of traders say, yeah, but you need to buy more. You want to make higher, bigger profits. Well, if you do that and it doesn't work, then what was the purpose of us sitting together and you being greedy and not making any money? So how can we make money in the place and the time we're in? Can we make money in the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour? If I'm a scalp trader, I want to find the fastest moving, most volatile, positively charged, it mustn't be totally positive, must be positively charged coin to trade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and place little orders down to my support line, just in case it drops. I'm going to go, I bought my first one at 624. So I want to go, let's say 620. And if you're doing dollars on Binance, it has to be a $10 or more. So unfortunately, that's the smallest trade that you can. So I'm going to go 6 Let's go 620. Let's go every 3 satoshis. We just take $10 an order. Just instead of typing $10 in, I just shift the slider, okay, make it 12, and make another one there, 617. And then 614. $611, and you guys can do the same as me if you want to. This is part of the trading learning process, is by following someone else while they're placing their orders. 608. $605, just going further down. Move that out of the way. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. It definitely wants to break out of that resistance line and that one over there. So sometimes I expand the screen just to see more information, but that also makes you more emotional if you do it that way. So don't always know there's a side effect. So is it going to come, make a circle, bounce at the top, and then come further down? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, Brad, skateboard trading would be more for having a parallel channel, and the price is running in a parallel channel, then we would do that. Are we going to? Now, what a lot of the traders often miss is, let's say you've got $1,000 in this trade. You want to go in like big. And you say, but 1% on $1,000 on a, every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that would be great. And that's what some of the guys do. They just go in big so that they don't need to panic about every time the price, doesn't go where they want it to go. Or $10,000, you can go in a trade now. I mean, look at how big some of these trades are. $67,000, $55,000, $35,000, not Shiba, dollars. So let's have a look at the depth chart. The depth chart is telling us that people are still very careful because the sell orders are huge, but the buy orders are halfway up. And that doesn't say what's really happening. What we need to do is we need to zoom this in and say, when we take these steps on either side of these steps, yes, we're going to struggle to get over the first few steps there. But at the same point, on the left, there's a huge buying area, which is around $600 sats. We call them dollar sat. These aren't satoshis anymore. We're trading dollar. This is smaller than a satoshi, a fraction of a satoshi. So is it going to come down first? And we draw you're going to draw some support and resistance, support and resistance. So you see what the purpose of placing these trades, these little lower trades. Because look, folks, the markets are going to go up anyway. If I buy at this current price, if it drops now to that price, I now place an order 1.2% higher from where I buy it. So I can already get myself ready to place it. And I can see, okay, at 627, I need to place that order. So 627, And if it hits my price, I place that 1.2. Why 1.2%? Because you're losing 0.2%. One is 0.1% for the buy, 0.1% for the sell. So you add 0.2% on top of whatever profit you want to make. We've done this with our new trading course we call the baby traders. This is the next lesson or two that I'm going to teach you guys in the trading. It's very, very exciting because you don't have to worry about a single direction that the market's going to go. You also get excited about two directions. So the Bitcoin is busy doing its thing. Would it do the same thing as there, like W? Let's have a look. I'm hoping that it catches the lower order. I'm hoping, because then I can sell it lower than the other orders that went through. And that's the purpose of this trading, is how regularly can I make 1%? My first order that I placed will give me 1%, but then the second one will give me 1.75 or 7%. Any guys want to ask questions or discuss? You're welcome. Use the chat box. Yeah, and welcome everybody on the call tonight. If you guys have any queries about the Tradeathlon, we're starting tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing plenty of trades. And the exciting thing is you're going to be making money. Doesn't matter what the market does, you're going to be making money. You say that's not possible. If the market goes down, I don't make money. You are. If you're unbiased, you are making profits. So your question is, how did I position my buy orders? You're talking about Shiba? And normally after the hour, we take a break, but we didn't take a break tonight because we want to get in as much as possible. So if you guys are falling asleep on yourself, because you're not falling asleep on me, and just in the chat box, how many of you are actually placing orders? I'd like to see how many of you are placing orders. So the idea for me, just to answer the question that was asked, I just looked at this current range. I know that down 5%, up 6%. I would more or less get the same kind of ratio with Shiba. The ratios are bigger, the profits are bigger, and the dips are bigger. So that's the exciting part. From tomorrow on, we will be possibly trading almost every movement. That is hectic, folks. That is very hectic, but it's so exciting because you watch how your portfolio goes like this. Boom, 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 boom. And when we have a look at one or two of the coins that which was the coins that we said were good, were for Kava. 27, let's go to 28. Kava, Zaliqua, and Dogecoin. So let's have a look at those coins in the meantime. And folks, I've got 4 screens in front of me. And so I've just taken monitors. I've taken the big TV away because the big TV is just a waste of glare. It's glare in your face. Smaller screens is much better because the quality of a computer monitor is much better than a TV screen. The TV screen that equals a computer monitor is one of those TVs that cost 25, 35, 45,000 rand. So don't be fooled by thinking TV is high quality. Okay, so let's get this. Let's start with Dogecoin. Some people have like fallen in love with the Doge. So it's trying to. This one has actually moved itself further, so there might be a potential bull run on this because when you draw in our resistance line right there, we can see that it could be on its way up. So it's in a better position than Bitcoin right now. Second one is Zaliqua. So any of you heard of blockchain domains? The next generation of domains. Zaliqua is one of them. Right, so you can do all of this trading with Shiba on Altcoin Trader, and it's brilliant because it moves nice and fast. So Zaliqua hasn't made its moves yet. Yes, blockchain domains is Web 3.0, uncensored internet. So Zaliqua, I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Also, every time it breaks through, does it come bouncing back on the line and go back up again, or does it actually go bullish? So what I would like to always do is when I go to my trading view, I would say on trading view, I want to make sure that I've got alarms on these coins. So if you're not watching the coin, at least something must be watching it for you. So make sure I'm a USDT. And that's a 1 week chart. So we want to, this is actually, so it's a 1 day growth. Okay. Let's put it on a 15-minute growth. It costs money to use TradingView, but it's really a good tool to use. Well, the costs are, let's see, somewhere. It's anything from like $19 or something. Strickers, you remember the price. Okay, he's not on anymore. Let's go to, so I'll put in the alarms. Now I'm going to go to the next coin, which is Doge. And then I want to put, I think it's called Doge USDT. I want to wait for those alarms to go through. And then those alarms start going beep, 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 beep. Then see, that's what I want to hear. Okay, and then I think it's These are for tomorrow. Hold on. USDT. It actually looks very positive. Just do this because sometimes you put these alarms too far apart and you miss out quite a few percentages. Right. That's on a 15-minute growth. Great, so I'm keeping this open. You have to keep one of your TradingView graphs open. You can download the app on your phone. If you download the app on your phone, you can set it that it can send a message on top of the screen or an email to you or make a noise on your computer. It will do it all simultaneously if you set it to sometimes you're not in front of the PC to watch what's happening. It's just missing my order. It's just grab it and we place the sell order. Here we go. So the magic rumor is that they're launching a South African stable coin, which is called XR, on the Matic network. So Matic has got its own blockchain. You will see that when you're using, I think it's XLM and Tron, or Tron and BitTorrent. Tron and BitTorrent have the same blockchain. You can look at the addresses, they're similar addresses. So you can choose whichever blockchain you want to run on. And if you're starting any cryptocurrency, it's best to make sure that you're on a fast and cheap blockchain, because then people would buy your coins more. The chances that it would go up in price much better. I would never use Ethereum blockchain. I wouldn't say I would never, but Ethereum is too expensive. The day when we wanted to trade Shiba on altcoin trade and move it there, it was going to cost as much as selling Bitcoin, like 350 or 400 Rand. We just didn't use it. Yeah, there's the side chain and all of there's a whole network of stuff used around it that is not altogether Ethereum. So that's why whenever we're sending anything, I mean, let's go to altcoin trader and we go to not withdraw deposit, let's go to deposit. We go to cryptocurrency and we're using let's say link. Link is the ERC20, so you use the OX protocol, OX, always starts with the OX, I think it always ends with the E. If I use Shiba, I've got the same OX E at the end. Matic, same OX E, but they're using the Binance chain, so there's a Binance option right there. And the Binance is another side chain. So, and then because it's much cheaper. So if you're sending funds from one person to the other, you want to use, and they're both on Binance, you can use the Binance chain. But now altcoin trader is also using it. But let's go to BitTorrent, TNX. See, it's the thanks network. And BitTorrent and Tron, also using the thanks network. So they're both T and X, they're both using their own. With Doge is also on a few blockchains at the moment, but Altcoin Trader is not using Doge. Is also using BNB side chains and stuff. Chainlink dot Polkadot. Request dot address. See, now we've got a totally different blockchain right over there. Okay, see, Doge is climbing slowly but surely. Let's quickly measure from where it is. So one of the traders said today to me, he just wants to make 1% on these trades, on all these trades. So he wants to make 1%, get in and get out. And that's pretty much what a lot of traders want to do. So they want to get in and get out. So I say, all right, let's see if that's wherever it's now market price, and let's make a $10, $11 order at market price, but let's make one or two slightly lower, 2023. Let's place another one there. Just in case it comes down first, then I don't have to panic on this. 201.89. Now I do my housekeeping on this. I see I bought 202.87. So from 202, okay, let's say 202.90, then I'm going to measure it 1.2%, 205.35. 205.35. And I place my sell order. So that's the easiest, most basic trades there are. You place your order, buy at the current price, but then you sell 1 or whatever % higher. And then you've made your profit. Then you don't need to sit and wonder what the price is going to do. And you can put thousands and thousands into trades like this. 50s, 100,000 into trades like this, because you don't need to worry. It's in many cases, in most cases, when you buy in a bullish market, you're going to make them. But then what if it's going to go higher? What if it goes higher? You've made your profit. Traders cry often more about, oh, I could have made more profit than actually I didn't make any profit and I'm feeling bad about it. And losing money is worse than making money but regretting you couldn't make more. So you want to get out of the regret box. Let's see if any of these orders are going to be caught. I'm going to make sure that my support line comes up from there to there. It's actually broken through that resistance line, so that's a good thing. Add the Bollinger Bands on the screen. And we can see our Bollinger Bands are showing us that we're moving in a pretty sideways market with a possible bottom to top of 4%. So one of my buy orders just went through, so I don't need to panic. So now where did it go through? Scroll down 20230. I'm just watching the blue there. The blue is telling me where this is. Take it more or less there. And I'm going to sell it to 20475. So because I bought lower, I sell lower. I'm not selling lower, I'm just putting the same percentage profit on every trade. What's happening here? Nothing. It hasn't bought it yet. So there's a resistance. It's feeling the resistance. It wants to get past that resistance line. But when it gets through there, then it goes up fast for a little bit before it retreats, comes back down again. See what Zilla is doing. So Zilla is also doing the sideways thing, struggling a bit, but always put your support and resistance lines on. We're having a look at making a small profit on the way up tonight. Not big, because tomorrow the prices might be down. So we rather spend some more time buying the dips again, if it's going to come further down. But then also what we've seen happen is just when we think the price is going to come down, it carries on going up again. So our RSI is telling us, oh, well, you know, it did this little stuff at the bottom here, and then it went up again, and it went to 34%, which is a pretty good place to trade. So somebody asked, do I trust stacking? I trust stacking more than what I trust myself, because it's the way that all my very profitable traders are making 200% or more per month. Traders trying to find exit and entry points, wasting time in front of the screen. We just, like when we use the US dollar to rand, it is the easiest. You got a 5% trading range and you trade your 5%. Yeah, it's a simple movement there. Staking. Staking is possibly the future of all investors and swing traders. Staking your coins is basically sitting back and watching your money grow. But it depends on who you're doing it through. Who's the company you're doing it through? There's a few that I trust, but I don't trust them all. And starting off with Altcoin Trader, you can go easy safe. You can get Tron 10.4% per annum. In Matic comes, it'd probably be something similar or more. So keep that in mind. 52 Dodge. And my next buy order went through, obviously, 20180. What is 20180? The number of 20424. Right, you see, I'm not using a whole lot of funds at this point of time. I'm just doing the basic stuff, the basic trades that everybody is struggling with. The reason why people are struggling with because they go in and they buy at the current price, they don't monitor their trades, they don't find the support and resistance lines, and they don't find lower places to buy into. You find the support line where you can, if I bought right down to the support line and it bounces up again, that would be a better place to buy than the current price. So I want to manage my portfolio in such a way that if I look at which coin was that today that was sent to me and said this is on the bottom. Let me just have a look quickly. Okay, so that's Carver making it a bullish attempt. So it does look possibly like it could make a few percent because of the let me see, where is this? Almost looking like a head and shoulders situation, not that it is, but that's possibly what it's doing. Dogecoin. Zolcoin, let's see, Zol. But if they're following Bitcoin, they're going to do the same thing. So Bitcoin is already basically touching on that resistance line. It's 1, 2, 3 attempts. Now, the question is, if it doesn't break through there, then it has to come down first. So it tries 3 times, 3 attempts to break through that resistance line. If it doesn't get through there, then it's 9 out of 10 times it comes down. So keep that in mind. But when it breaks through there, it might make 2 or 3 or 4% in one shot. So you might miss out because you're thinking, I'm first going to wait for it to break through there before I'm going to buy. Do not miss out on those opportunities to make money in between. Making profits in between is the most exciting part of trading. So imagine placing a trade every 10 to 15 seconds. At the slowest, 1 trade a minute. If you can do that, you can make money even in a bear market. So there's one lady she only got to do our courses when after the bear run in May, and she'd lost like R1 million in the trades. So I'm giving her personal training sessions to fix that problem. So every single day, there's a session that we have set up to actually execute those trades so that we can try and make another R1 million back by December. or another 2 million if we keep on placing regular trades. So the only reason why people haven't been making money is because they're not placing trades. They're not placing enough trades. They are distracted by life and what life experiences. And if you don't force yourself to do something like on a daily basis, on a regular basis, then it just happens and doesn't happen. And then when you open your portfolio one day, oh, it's such hard work to place a trade. Don't let it be a burden. If you're not placing regular trades, maybe it's just because you don't need the money. You're allowing yourself to, be sidetracked or whatever. You need to be placing regular trades. And now that the market's been going up, I'm suggesting that you have less US rand, less rands, more US dollar tether, and then slowly but surely move to more Bitcoin. So that if the Bitcoin breaks through its resistance lines that are coming up soon, that you can walk away from the screen from around the second week, maybe in August, and I might be wrong, and be making lots more rands and dollars. But you don't want to just be making more rands and dollars. You want to be multiplying your crypto also. And you say, well, I thought that was rands and dollars. No, it's not the same thing. Rands and dollars are stable coins. Increasing your stable coins just puts you ahead of the economic problems in the world. Gives you the edge of the petrol price, because the petrol price has been going up and up and up and up. And it's like you're still getting 20 rand or 200 rands of petrol when you're putting that the amount of liters is a lot less. So how can you beat that? You beat that by having a stable coin to stable coin trading pair, safely making, as the dollar price goes higher, so do you have more dollars, so you have more rands to buy petrol and basic commodities. So keep a certain amount in your stable coin trading pairs to keep a nice eye on the markets, and you're going to do well. And then when you are physically ready to trade, then you start trading these nice, exciting coins. Because the coin that two of my guys are making plenty of money on is the one you see in front of your screen now. Two of my traders made around minimum 40 to 60,000 rand on this coin last month. So if you attend the Tradeathlon, I will gladly show you exactly how they did it, because we coach them through this process. Do not have an emotional roller coaster because of the price going down. And then when the price goes up and up and up, then you want to buy more higher. No, you want to sit back. Yes, Franco, I make it look easy. The more knowledge you have of what you're doing, the easier it becomes. So we have a few, maybe 1 or 2 rocky days in the markets. Maybe this week and maybe next week. But those are the days we take the dips, we buy in the dips, and we trade back up again. That's the exciting part. You want to trade up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you're unsure about whether you want to attend the sessions of the Tradeathlon, I've actually let me put this up on the screen so that you guys can see. Let me go like this. So we've started tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have 2 sessions. Thursday, 3 sessions, Friday, 2 sessions, and Saturday night, 1 session. And if necessary, we'll go over time. If the markets are going booming and we're finishing off the session, we'll just stay on the screen. Next week, we'll do another free session on Sunday night. Then Monday, 3 sessions, Tuesday, 2, Wednesday, 2, Thursday, 2. And if you miss out on any of the sessions and you pay for them, you'll be able to view the recording, so that you'll be able to access the training. So there's full package, and I've checked a lot of these professional traders out there and what they charge. For all the sessions, 19 sessions, it works out cheaper than buying per session. But if you can only have, you're doubtful, you just purchase 1 or 2 or 3 or half a dozen, or you can have this week only for $9.97, or next week only for $109.7. Morning sessions are $167, evening sessions are $177. So it's an online Zoom call and it gets recorded. What do? We do live trading. We go through the technicals, discuss what to trade. We're going to go, like I've coached you folks tonight, what to trade. Do we trade? Yes, we do live trades. But it takes time to get everybody on the same page, because I can say, okay, guys, I've got a signal here, let's buy this coin. In a week's time, you wouldn't know what to do. So I'm helping you with the setup process. Okay, so we trade, we find good trades, and we coach you through each trade. Where do we trade? We're going to trade on Altcoin Trader and Binance. And I'm going to coach you. You guys are going to be such good traders afterwards. You'll only make money. If you can make 500 or 1,000 Rand a day, would that help? I'm going to show you. You guys, the guys that are on the Tradeathlon are going to make that kind of money. If you've got more money, skin in the game, you can make 2,000, 3,000 Rand a day. Confidence. That's why you lose money, because you've been trading on your own. You've been trying, guessing, trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to trade this. And you build confidence when you make money, but then you lose it all in a few days because you carried on trading and the markets dropped. So there are almost every method that you can pay. Either by ATM, EFT, I send you an invoice via PayPal and you pay with your debit or credit card. Or if you've got a PayPal account. So there are all the methods to use. Right. I've sent the information on the groups. If anyone wants to just send me a WhatsApp and I'll send it to you personally. Let's go back to usually. All right, so the Chiba is still open. Dogecoin is looking like it's still wanting to go up, although it's going into almost little channel or wedge over there. So you can be drawing little support and resistance lines on the price as it goes up, so that you don't have any surprises. If you see it falling all of a sudden, then guess what? You want to be buying in the dips. So let's go and add our tools. Just scroll up a bit. Let's get a support line there, bottom. See, it's been dropping through that support line. And then there's a resistance line, which is showing us that if we drew in a line from there, let's say to there, we could draw another one on the top of that resistance line like that. Okay, is this? Oh, no, it's not there. So you just got to be careful now when you're drawing that you don't use the lines that are naturally on the screen. So that was the top. So that line doesn't count. These are just timelines that this exchange is showing you. So could it be forming a channel? So channel means I'm just going to draw in, let's say there was a parallel channel forming. Is it going to go in between, bounce up and down between there? So all of those little technicals you can go and analyze right now. See there, it's fine. Looking for the resistance line. So most likely coming down to resistance line there. And they're all doing the same thing, but this is getting closer and closer to the resistance line. Trying to, hasn't touched it yet, it wants to break through there. So have I got, okay, 627, I'm still waiting for this order to go through. If it doesn't, it's fine. See, they're all following each other. One is following the other one, following the other one. There's a little panic setting in there. But I've chosen Dogecoin and Zaliqua because they've got some launches. So what's the news tomorrow? Dogecoin has been traded on KickX as an exchange, Dogecoin to USDT. So what people normally do is if there's an exchange that's going to list the coin, then they start moving the coin to that exchange where it's going to be listed on, and then they start selling it, hoping that all the new traders that don't have the coin will buy it, and that will shoot the price up. Zaliqua, we just read what the announcement. Almost made it like a total W over there, which might be a problem later on. If it reaches that level, it might come down again. But when you looking at a one-day graph and you see an M, you know that the M produces a bull run. And you see a one-day graph and you see a huge W, then you know it's going to drop. But if you're looking at a 15-minute graph and you see that, you know, those are temporary little moves. So you might have 100 Ws on 15-minute graph, but you might only have one big one on a one-day graph. So don't think short-term all the time. Think medium, longer term on your trades. So while we're waiting for this price to move, I see it's already past 10. It's some people's bedtime. I know that it's some people's bedtime, but yes. Okay. Birthday specials in August. When is your birthday? Morning and afternoon sessions. I'm not saying they're the same. You might be moving to a different currency, or you might carry on trading that again, or that same coin. August 26. We can talk. We try and help people wherever we can. If somebody really wants to do something, they will. So we really going for this resistance line now. It does seem like there's some positive motion in the markets. Let's have a look at altcoin trader quickly and what Shiba is doing. And this is very nice actually when you look at this. For the last few days, we had a nice, let's take that off. And this is the same on all the other platforms. Get a nice 12% trading rate. Niels, wow. August 16, Amida, 21 August, wow. So no, we need to talk. We need to give you a discount on your birthday. I love negotiating. The place where we stay in Cape Town, I said the price is too high. We really want to buy another place, not to pay somebody's rent. And it's heavy paying rent, especially if you're not using the place for a business with all the lockdowns. So I negotiated a new rental. It's probably 77% less than, or 26% less than what we've been paid. Negotiated with the owner. We can negotiate anything in life. Oh yes, yeah, Sharon, you like late, early. You're welcome. You're welcome. Talk to me. Tell me what you want to do, and I will assist anybody that wants to. Great. We're just waiting for these nice breakouts or breakdowns. We want to show you how to make money in two directions, because that's what it's about. If you only get excited about the price going up, big mistake. Big mistake here. Knowing that the general direction of the market, if the general direction is sideways or up, then you can make money. If the general direction is down, you're looking for bounces, then you can make money. Leaving your portfolios open when the market's going down is a mistake. Like that lady that had 3 million in the market, she lost 1 million because she saw the prices falling, and on the day, I want to show you quickly. I don't know if it happened on altcoin trader, but I know it happened on Luna. I haven't been on Luna, but I saw it on the portfolio the other day. It was a day in May. It was a day in May. Yeah. On the 19th of May. A whole lot of people went and sold then. And they never bought back again. So, but here's a little tip. And I discussed this earlier on the call, but I just want to see Bitcoin is trying to hit another resistance line there. It might just carry on going up, folks. I said we've got a cup formation here. For those of you who have not seen where to find the cup, oops. It's called arc. It's near the top of the screen. So I'm going to draw an arc. And then I want to go in such a way that I can expand this so that it covers more or less all the points. So I'm believing that we're going to see the 800, 900,000, but this time we're going to go higher. And if you guys were on the show with Scott Belson, I'm saying it could possibly go into 1.5 to 2.5 million rand a Bitcoin. But we need to try and accumulate as much Bitcoin right now by trading two directions. That's how we're going to make money. Not by taking what you got, buying Bitcoin and waiting for the price to go up. We don't have time for that. Okay, I see that went through. So now I can place. We don't have time to wait for better days. We make money today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. Once you've got into the habit of how we're doing it and which coins to trade on, great, fantastic. Then you're just gonna roll. Another thing is that the traders that are making the good money are often people that have time in front of the screen. So if you want to make, let's say, 2 or 3% on average a day, like 60 to 90% per month, at least half an hour to 40 minutes in the morning, half an hour to 40 minutes in the evening. And that's pretty real. If you got a lot of time that you spend, you've got like 4 or 5 times a day that you can come and that you're in front of the screen and you quickly check your trades, place the new orders and walk away. That's when your profitability goes from 100 to 200 to 300% easily. And don't worry about the percentages. What matters is if you're trading with 10,000 Rand and you're making an extra 2,000, 3,000 Rand a month, it makes you happy. But if you're trading with 400 Rand and you made 50 Rand, you're just playing it safe. Then you're not really believing in the system. So, what I'm doing with the baby traders at the moment is to take them with safe altcoins, which are the two stable coins trading against each other, continuously trading it up and down, and then building that confidence because they're not losing any money. One day your dollar is higher, the next day your rand's higher, the next day your rand's down, dollar's up. So which would make you more excited, rands or dollars? And I know what the answer is going to be. Neil says both. What do you say? Because I know that South Africans, we love our currency and we want to gain more of our currency. Others want to gain more dollars, but it's hard to say which one we want the most of. But if I can show you that you can subtly, slowly but surely increase them, that they do this. Slowly but surely, they both increase. So that's why it's a psychological thing. If your dollars is $100 tomorrow and your rands is 1,000 Rand, then the next morning you find you're $120 and you 900 Rand. And the next day you carry on with these two bouncing up and down, and you get excited about both. Because if you say, oh, my rand's down, and I say, well, what is your dollar value? And that is what traders need to do is try, if you want to be profitable for most of the time, look at both currencies that you're trading. Don't look at only the one that you bought. Don't think of just the rand. If you're trading altcoin trader and you're only watching your rand, that's your first mistake you make. You can't just watch your rates, because one day because the price drops and you're buying the altcoins, you're accumulating altcoins. Every time Shiba drops, let's use Shiba as an example because it's the most stunning coin and meme to look at. So at the current price, if I buy 100 grains of Shiba, how many coins do I get? Why would I want to buy Bitcoin if I can buy Shiba? It's easy. It's nicer to say I've got 1 million Shiba coins than 1 million Bitcoins, because nobody's got 1 million Bitcoins that I know of. Not even Elon Musk. All right, so there we go. I can buy 1.03 million at that price. But if I buy it at 9,500 and I buy 100 rands, got 1.505 million. In other words, I've gained 20,000 more Shiba coins. Traders don't know that. They don't look at it that way. That's why they're missing out on. So it's going to take me 1 to 2 weeks to help you get through this process, this mind process. But once you've seen it and practiced it and done it, you will never ever look back again. So let's go back to what we've done. We can see it does want to go up. This one is playing little games with us, which is fine. And all of them are busy playing games. Once I've got my support and resistance lines, I often just take it to a 5-minute graph and watch it on a 5-minute graph. And see, okay, this is what it's doing. And maybe even put your Bollinger Bands, but I'm not doing that now, just so that you can see the orders much better. So officially, we're basically done for this evening, but what we're doing is just for the exercise sake and the excitement sake, anyone that wants to stay on, I'm going to stay on at least another 30 minutes. For those who can manage to stay awake 30 minutes, we will be possibly getting through our first trades in the next 10 or 15 minutes, but it needs to be seen and coach you further. So if you need to go, well, I would like to say good night, and maybe we can see you folks in the morning. Just get that out there. Oh, there. Okay. And believe me, trading gets very, very excitable when you start seeing these funds coming through. Are we going to break through that line? Price has almost made a half cup. So it's coming at an angle to break through because the direct approach wasn't working. So we're using the sideways approach. So I don't know if you've ever watched a bird that gets trapped in a room. He goes straight for that window, and then he jams his beak in the window. And then eventually he's flying like this against the window to try and get out. So I see this as that happening. The test is to see, will it be able to break through and for how long? What is Bitcoin doing? Is Bitcoin doing the same thing? Bitcoin did try and it's trying again. It's almost like it's got a fourth attempt, even though it's, yeah. And you would see it as 3 attempts if we had to put this on a 1-hour graph. This would be the 3rd attempt. Okay, good night, Sharon. Greetings to Roger and to your son and your daughter and Alabi and everybody. Okay, so which one acts the quickest? Which one reacts the quickest? That's the kind of coins that we want to trade. So everyone watches Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is moving forward. Move forward. Okay, it's reversed. Reverse. And that's how it's happening. But this is what we'll be doing tomorrow also, is that we'll be going to the markets and checking out what the other markets are doing. Will Dogecoin, will some of these other coins do their own thing? Because that's what we want. We want to see which ones we can. Good night, Geraldine. Which ones we can get some good trades on while this is all, struggling to do its thing. So there's like Alice and AXS, which have been doing pretty well. Civic has also been on. It depends on the direction the market is going. So if the market is going down during that time, then it's going to go back up. Or if it's going up, it might be going down thereafter. Right, so we got some small trades over there. Shiba's still trying to break through there. Still trying to break through. So Civic, and it's a big mistake if you look at the coin and how much percentage it's made, and it did do well today. It did very well. But when you look at the percentage, it's 30% in 24 hours. But when you go and look at it, you'll see it's already virtually on its way down. So what we need to do is we need to go and draw in all those resistance lines and see if this is going to follow Bitcoin or not. It's going to be difficult to pull these lines on when they're doing this. Okay. Actually, in this coin, I can't even remember. It's showing I've got orders there, but I don't see myself having any orders there. I don't know what's happened there. So you're asking me a question that's you want an overall answer. So about 85% of all the coins that are on rumors will make you money. Some of them will, before the news. 15% of them will make you money after the news. So there are the sell on the news, and it looks like it's not even moved. Then 3 days later, then there's a huge bull run. The question you should be asking is, what is the normal trend of this coin? If this coin is a slow mover, it only moves 3% or 4% per day, then it doesn't help buying in on the rumor on that coin, because it's not going to move that fast. Doesn't mean you mustn't, but the idea is you want to have these alarms on the screen, and those alarms will be telling you, it's not a good one, it's a good one. Okay, that's Zoom. It looks pretty good. Let's see what the percentage is from where the price is. So it's 1.2%. So traders often do that. They see there's a movement in the market, they buy it at the current price and they stack up. And then there's nothing wrong with that. just sometimes means you've got to wait longer for those orders to go through. This is sometimes what happens. That's what often happens. So then you look and there's no orders going through, you see the price going down, then you sell it. The moment you sell it, you see the price going back up again and you buy it back in again. Then you have a sigh of relief. Then you see the price going down, you sell it. Then you see the. So keep in mind that, you know, drawing in those support and resistance lines actually help you a great deal. They're not there just for fancy. They're there for knowing possible turning points. But as I showed you, folks, with the, that's while we're waiting for this to go. Let's go back to Bitcoin. It does look like it wants to break out there. And we go to that 4-hour graph. Got the Fibonacci on there. But the bigger picture shows us that you've got a trading range. So if you're a wild thinker, one of my traders he's an investor. He drives pleasure. Have a great evening. He drives a Harley Davidson as one of his like 2-3 times a week because he's in Cape Town. So when the weather is good, they'll go on the Harleys. And what he did was he just said, okay, what is the trading range for Bitcoin? And he placed all his orders down to $28,000. And all of them except the $28,000 order went through. So guess what? He's happy. He doesn't panic because he knows he's got his orders further down. So the more money or skin in the game or money you got in the market, the less you can panic about. You actually make more money in the dips than on the runs. Think about that. You can make more money in the dips than on the bull runs. See, you can always, your open orders, you see there, if I say hide other pairs, I see only this pair. If I untick that, then I can watch what other pairs are open pairs at the moment. And same with trade history. Trade history, if I untick trade history, I can hide other pairs, I can see which orders went through. And this is necessary for traders whenever you're in the market and you see you've got a Bitcoin balance or you've got a USDT balance right now, then you don't know always if it's from this trading pair that you were trading with or another trading pair. But if you keep this one open, then you can see, okay, Shiba was a buy order, Doge was a buy order, and you can see in the order that they went through. These are the ones that haven't gone through, they're open orders. They are wanting to buy, wanting to sell. These ones have gone through. So then you don't need to jump from screen to screen, but you keep it up. But when you need to place your sell orders or buy orders after any of these gone through, then you want to close that and stick to that. This one's only. This one looks like it's going south, CBC. That looks pretty good. The Doge is just broken over the SMA line and it wants to go higher. This one wants to break the resistance. This recording is only available for those who actually pay for the session. So I'm not making this available right now. But it was a good training, wasn't it? Don't you think? Come on, everybody. Break the line. But once it's broken the line, it will at least take one order. There must be huge resistance. Look at that. There's huge resistance at 625. But slowly but surely it gets eaten up. Those cell walls get eaten up slowly but surely. If it doesn't break through there, then we're going to see an upside down cut. One of two directions. Let's cover. Covers wanting to recover. No, don't worry about airdrops. Airdrops are like eardrops. They're only good for the person that's introducing them. The problem with airdrops is that you're going to get some free coins if you buy this coin, but by the time the people receive the free coins, the price of the coin that you bought has dropped so drastic. And they normally bring out a similar coin that's 1 or 2% of the value of the one that you had to buy. So it's just a waste. Come on, Shiva, you can do it. Now we are positive with Shiva right now. $15,185. The people are, if this is how you know when it's going to reach the next price. You're going to watch this go less and less and less. If this doesn't go to 14, 13, 11, then it's, although if it breaks through that line, it means it's been eaten up. 14, 16, 14, 16, 13. Oh, that's a good sign. 13. But what some people do, they just keep on putting more and more orders on that sell order book, on that price. 15. So basically, this is 26, 25. This is like the stock market many years ago. That's why we're doing crypto markets, but this is going to be like the stock market when these prices go ballistic. Exciting. $12. Okay, we've seen the 12 now. It's a good 4. I know, but it's dropped. So 2. See what now these guys are panicking. The 9 sold it to the 23s. 7. Nice. 8. 2, 9. So this that's what's nice about having these. I mean, it has moved from probably more than 0.5%. Placing alarms is a great help in the trading. CVC, I don't need to worry about because I'm not in CVC, fortunately. So I'm just closing that. So I'm not in it yet, but I don't want to be trading too many coins at once. So I can, oh, we're back to 13, 15. 7. Okay, so the guys are buying, seriously buying right now. But will it keep like that bird pecking at the window before it comes down and goes back up again? Let's have a look. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is possibly doing the same thing. Let's get it on a 15-minute. Wedges. It's really pecking at that corner. And when it pecks at that corner, then you know there's a possible bull or bear coming. Kava is doing pretty well. It's moving up, so we can trust Kava for some nice profits. We are. Oops. And that point there, we'll have to see if it goes higher than that point, because there could be a resistance line there at around 2%. Sideways, sideways. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin has also got, you see our RSI as a resistance line. So what will we see tonight? Will we see a sudden dip again? Serendipity. Will we see it do that, or will it bounce through there? Oh, look, it can go back up again, but down and then finding a support line and going back up again. It's a high likelihood. Then what we got is a descending wedge with a flat support line, a horizontal support line. This one is climbing quite nicely. What I like is the Bollinger Bands opening up, going sideways. It's always a good thing because you get a safer trading area there. So what we'll be doing is possibly making some very, okay, that's cover that's coming higher. So if you're in cover, you might be smiling already. We'll be doing quite a few trades in the market. I'll show you also how to exit trades quickly. If you haven't done it already, it's a very, very nice little exercise to do. Let's say, for instance, the coin that you're trading has made you 4.5%, but now you see that it's too high. And you've got a few more orders left. Then you might want to get out the trade quickly. So we'll be practicing that also. Okay, so we're kind of breaking through this now. I'm not sure if it will just, now often what you see is it makes these little shadows up and down, and then it comes back straight down again. But Oliver is doing our trick. That's what we want to see. So it's somehow, if Bitcoin follows what we've seen with Kava, that means Bitcoin, we could follow that as the front runner for our trades. There's a nice little profit to be made if it goes. Our resistance line is up there on major. Okay, can we make money from there today? Possibly. Wrong one. wrong. Yeah, it seems like that's where it wants to go. So I haven't bought into ZIL, but ZIL is for tomorrow, so we can expect some bullishness. There we go, Dodge. So these are tomorrow's coins, and you can make 1, 2, 3% before you go to bed. Shiba is breaking through. You can always watch the line on the screen. You know, you can watch the prices. If you don't have too many tabs open, you can keep an eye on the prices in the tabs at the top there. So I believe that at least this order could go through. How's that? I've got Shiba 1.9 million, 311. So everything is looking good, positive at the moment. I'm just going to wait for this order to go through, and then I'll let you guys have a great rest. There's no fixed answer on that, Brad. You can't place an alarm on the RSI because you don't know when it's going to hit a certain level, but you can put it on resistance lines or support lines because that's a known factor. And your RSIs and your price, your RSI and your Bollinger Bands don't always line up together. That's the problem. But if you had a bot or an algorithm to help you out with that, I guess that's the way to go. Let's see how this is doing. Although altcoin trader. Okay, so we kind of broken through the resistance line. We're just going to make sure that it is. We might. The Dogecoin is doing the right thing for an announcement kind of coin. So maybe all those orders will go through. Just want one order at least to go through before we call it a. The Dogecoin alarm is going off. So that's just an alarm for Dogecoin's price going higher. And guys, you have make your own name if you want to call it doggy or doge or dog air, or you want to make your whatever makes you happy. That's the name you give it. Because you can't answer and say this is how you say his name. If you say your partner's name wrong, then you might be in trouble. That might be a mistake. Bitcoin is trying to break that resistance. And let's say, for instance, Bitcoin does go bullish right now. Here's another tip. The last tip I'm giving you for today. Let's say it does go bullish, then it wouldn't be advisable to have a lot of US dollar tether. So that you're making more US dollars while the Bitcoin price is going up. US dollar tether, we are moving more and more of our funds out of it into Bitcoin and to altcoins right now than previously. So it is trying to get above the Bollinger Bands have opened up there. And hopefully it's give us a few bob. 203. What I'm doing now with because it's difficult to determine, it's such a small range that it's gone. Okay, that's still moving up. So Zola is doing its thing. As I said, it's one of those for tomorrow. So you want to sell it sometime tomorrow if there's a bull run. If there's a bull run. Okay, but you would have made some profit. You would have made at least 1% if you bought when we started. All right, so I think we can call it a day, but there's lots of action going to come now. So you guys have an awesome evening, and I'll see some of you 10 o'clock tomorrow. Bye for now. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Carol. Apollo, I'm seeing you tomorrow. Good night, John. Good night, Niels also, yes. Ronald, good night, Greg. Good night, Franco. Like trading. Night, Renwell. See you also. Night, Amida.